G- When did you realize that I have something special about me? Like when I step on a football field, I'm different. I am better than the average person.
So, I mean, I knew in kindergarten that I was faster than everybody else. And so that was, I was, my nickname growing up was Quick, Quick. And so Wheels, right? So I always knew I was faster than everyone, but specifically when I knew I had a gift with football was my sophomore year. We were playing Kearney High and a good program at the time in San Diego. And I think I had like 8 carries for 140 yards. And for me as a sophomore to perform like that against one of the best teams, I knew that okay, I got something special. And a week later, we were playing another team, and I just noticed I was just running, and people kept bouncing off of me. And I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I noticed that people kept bouncing off me, and so I started to realize I think I have a future in this game.
Y- Your high school career is incredible. You rushed for over 4,000 yards, uh, over 55 touchdowns. Uh, you did amazing in high school, but you didn't come into high school bulked up the way eventually would be. You were kind of frail entering high school. Is that not correct? And then you put on something like 25 pounds in your sophomore year?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't frail, but I wasn't a big guy. I was considered a little guy, and when I first started playing football, I played linebacker, and so for that position, I was considered small. But yeah, that summer I just it was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I just lived on PB and J's, and I put on 25 pounds of solid weight, and then I became the fast guy that was big, and it's a whole nother thing to be the little quick guy, and then to be the big fast guy because when you're the little quick guy, everyone's trying to take your head off. When you're the big fast guy, everybody gets out the way, and so it changed a lot.
So you do exceptionally well in high school. Eventually, you go down to the University of Texas. What makes you pick that school?
So first of all, when I was growing up, my dream was to be a professional baseball player. But when I was a teenager, I was watching Notre Dame football, and there was something about the tradition of college football that really captured me. And I told myself, all right, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be like Bo Jackson, or I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play college football, but I'm also gonna play minor league baseball. And so I told all the colleges that were recruiting me that I'm gonna play. I'm gonna spend my summers playing minor league baseball. And so some of the schools, they weren't as interested, but some were. And so my top five were Texas, USC, Notre Dame, Stanford, and Colorado. And I kind of had a checklist. I said I want to start as a freshman. I want to go to a program that has a rich tradition, but it's been kind of down and is ready to come back onto the scene because I want to, be that missing piece to the puzzle. And most importantly was I needed the environment to feel like family, to feel like family. And so as I went on my different recruiting trips, I just checked off the list, and I got to Texas, and it was all the checks. And there was a special moment when I got to Texas, and when I talk to kids about choosing a college, I say, the most important thing is where you feel comfortable, because when you feel comfortable, you're going to be able to perform your best. And there was a moment at Texas where I walked out of one of the rooms and I saw Earl Campbell's Heisman Trophy. And something about that Heisman Trophy, I looked at it and the feeling that I got was, if I come here, I can get one of those. And I just trusted that feeling. And so I committed to Texas, and it all worked out.
Were you able to play both sports in Texas?
So I played baseball for the Phillies. So the Phillies drafted me out of high school, and they still allowed me to go to Texas, and Texas was cool with me going to play baseball in the summers. And so I would go to school in the fall and the spring, and then for the summers I would go to Florida or North Carolina or New York and play minor league baseball. And then I would come back right before training camp and start football season.
Mm. So ultimately, what made you choose football over baseball?
I was better at it. I was better at it. I mean, for me, baseball is one of those things where I just needed a lot more time to get better. And because I was only playing a couple of months, I didn't have the time. And then my goal was, as I got drafted into the NFL, to keep playing baseball, but all the NFL teams said no. And so I made the decision to give up baseball and focus solely on football.